Did my card go through?
Oh no.
Your small business depends on its internet. So switch to Verizon Business. And you could get LTE business internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data for unlimited business.
There we go.
Get the internet you need at the price you want. Verizon Business. Starting price for LTE business internet, 25 megabits per second unlimited data plan with select Verizon Business smartphone plan savings. Terms apply.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
New Year, same extra value meals at McDonald's. So now get 2 snack wraps, plus fries, and a medium soft drink for just $8.
For limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
Imagine that this line represents time. Present 1985. Future. Past. Prior to this point in time, somewhere in the past, the timeline skewed into this tangent, creating an alternate 1985. Alternate you, me, and Einstein. Look, reality for everyone else.
Welcome back to the Infinite Rabbit Hole. My name's Jeremy, and today we're going to dive into the first of a new segment called Declassified. Came up with that one today.
Declassified.
That's right, man. That's right.
Oh, man.
It's going to be these 2 people formats, and it's going to be all cool topics and such. It's going to be great. Be great. How you been, man?
Today, terrible.
Ooh.
You?
Actually the same.
Yeah, I've had the double dragon all day.
And for those that never served in the Navy, would you like to explain what that double dragon is?
Fire shooting out of both sides, I suppose. That's right.
It's sort of a tradition in the Navy. When you go on a ship, you start your deployment, you kind of just get the double dragon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Spectrum
it's
says, "Oh my lord." Yep. So yeah, I've been doing absolute trash, but I haven't been coughing, so I was like, all right. So that's why I haven't been on any episodes, is because I've been sick, and so try not to be hacking and coughing into the microphone.
It's all good, man. I've figured out a way to do solo episodes, and I've just been knocking it out, coming out with an episode every 2 or 3 days. My goal for this year is to put out more content.
There you go.
But I could tell you what's really pissing me off.
Glad to be back, Spectrum. What's been pissing you off?
What's really pissing me off is when I put, 10, 12 hours into a script between 2 or 3 days, and some dumb fuck on YouTube wants to leave a comment about how my script is AI. I fucking hate that shit.
Why would they say that?
Man, I have no idea. But, you want sources? I'll give you sources. I got you. It's easy day. Just ask. I mean, I've been doing this for over 5 years. There's no AI going into my script. Okay? So knock that shit off.
Tell you
I've
what,
been doing this since longer than AI existed.
It's better than someone blasting you in the comments on YouTube because you cut them off, or you passed them while they were driving slower than the speed limit because it was raining out. So, I mean, telling you that you don't know how to drive and stuff. So, I mean, I guess, you get some from no matter what you do, I suppose.
Well,
so you just cry about it. It's basically
what
I'm saying. There's no way around it. So you're just going to have to cry.
Well, I don't know what happened to that guy's comment, because I commented back. I was like, hey, man, I got sources if you want them. And then his comment disappeared.
He deleted
I don't think he was ready for a reply.
No, I suppose not.
Is what it is. Anyways, so this is going to be very similar to the episodes that we've been doing lately, where we've been doing the fringe news. Declassified segments are going to be very similar in format, but it's more 2 people friendly. And instead of covering 5 topics, we'll cover 3. and we won't narrow down the topics to just news or current events. We're going to talk about things that I've already had research done on. Jake texted me this morning and was like, hey, man, you want to do an episode today? And I was like, shit, let me see what I can put together. So I grabbed 3 scripts from 3 different topics that I've done research on in the last, 5 years or so that we just never got to here on Infinite Rabbit Hole. I have some that are just too short. No, they're not fucking AI. And then back on that for a second, one person specifically goes, man, that intro was AI. And I'm like, man, I've been doing intros for my episodes since day 1. You need to shut up.
What dictates whether or not something is written by AI?
I have no idea.
I guess, well, that would be my question to them.
Maybe it sounds good. It sounds good, so it can't be written by a person.
Actually, Whitney's been dealing with this for college, where her teacher is going through a website that detects whether or not something was written by AI. And she literally can't write a paper that sounds like she wrote it. She has to write it in a way that sounds like she's a freaking high schooler or a middle schooler writing a presentation. Otherwise, AI or the software will say that it's 95% likely that it's AI. Uh-oh. Why are we frozen?
Shoot him a
Stop yelling at me. I'm sensitive.
Huh? Stop being sensitive.
No.
All right. You ready to get into my script for the night?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. I got a nice, powerful intro to get everybody hooked. We are living in an era of rapid declassification, yet the picture of our reality remains fragmented, obscured by a deliberate fog of war that spans both the physical and the digital realms. The maps we use to navigate our world are outdated. We are clinging to a geography of the safe and the known, while the world around us is being rewritten by forces we are only just beginning to admit exist. Tonight, we are going to burn the old maps. We're going to chart a course through the prohibited airspace of active war zones where anomalies mock our physics. Hack into the static of a dying digital world where humanity is becoming the minority, and trek deep into the Peruvian Amazon, where a modern-day alien siege has terrified an indigenous tribe into taking up arms. We have 3 massive files to declassify tonight, and each one peels back a layer of the illusion we call daily life. We will start with the invisible sentinels, drifting over our most secure military installations, entities that defy gravity, aerodynamics, and thermodynamics. Then we are heading down to the Laredo region of Peru to investigate the terrifying face peeler attacks of 2023, where villagers fought back against 7-foot-tall, armored, hovered entities that the government absurdly tried to dismiss as illegal gold miners with jetpacks. And finally, we'll return to the black mirror in your pocket to ask a question that haunts the corridors of Silicon Valley. Is the human era of the internet over, and are we now just ghosts haunting a machine run by the dead? But before we step off the ledge and descend, a vital transmission for our fellow travelers. If you want to unlock the files we cannot air on the main feed, the ones that dig too deep for the algorithms to ignore, join us on patreon.com/infinite rabbit hole. This week, I released an exclusive, unredacted deep dive into the Havana Syndrome, including a new and important discovery regarding the source of the illness and the infrasound that seems to be causing it. If you want to watch the madness unfold in real time, catch us every time we record live at twitch.tv/infinite rabbit hole. Like, follow, subscribe, do the things that help us keep the signal strong against the static. All right, welcome back to Infinite Rabbit Hole.
The face peelers? Holy
the face
moly.
peelers. Yes.
Ugh. There's no way that you wrote that. That was definitely AI. That was
Shut up, man.
way too sophisticated.
I wanted to make that joke. I know shit was gonna be like, all right, now that my AI written intro is done, we can get to the real stuff. Fucking hate that.
Yes.
I wrote that myself.
That sounds nuts. The face peelers. All right, I'm down for it. Let's go.
All right, let's do this. All right. For our opening topic tonight, Travelers, we are turning our eyes back to the Middle East for a topic we have covered before, but we're going to do it a little bit more in depth. But we aren't looking for insurgents, convoys, or geopolitical maneuvering. We are looking for a ghost that haunted a United States joint operations base in Iraq one night in October of 2018. The footage is grainy, shot in the monochromatic grays and blacks of a high-tech thermograph weapon system, like an L3 Westcam sensor suite, the kind used to target enemies from miles away with surgical precision. The video was leaked by investigative filmmaker and ufologist Jeremy Corbell in January of 2024, blowing the lid off a secret that intelligence agencies has kept buried for 6 years. On the screen, drifting with a terrifying, stiff silence, is an object that should not exist. It does not have wings. It does not have a fuselage. It does not have a tail rotor. It looks, for all the world, like a jellyfish. This entity, now colloquially known as Jellyfish UAP, floated over the base with dangling, rigid tentacles. It did not sway in the wind. It did not bank or turn like a biological creature or an aircraft. It simply translated through space, moving at a constant, deliberate speed, ignoring the laws of aerodynamics. But the most chilling part wasn't its shape. It was its thermal signature. On thermal cameras, objects are usually defined by their heat. An engine is hot. It glows black or white depending on the polarity setting. Cold metal is the opposite. This thing was shifting. As the intelligence officers watched in disbelief, the entity changed its thermal reflectivity. It went from black, indicating heat, to white, indicating extreme cold, and back again. It was as if the object was struggling to maintain its presence in our layer of reality, phasing in and out of the thermodynamics laws that govern our universe. It was not just camouflage. It was rewriting its own physics in real time. The leaked footage tracks the entity as it drifts over the perimeter fence, completely ignoring the heavily armed soldiers and the dogs below who seem oblivious to its presence. It drifts over the barracks, a silent observer. It then descends toward a body of water, presumed to be Lake, I'm going to butcher this, Habania, and does the impossible. If you drop a drone into a lake, it crashes. If a bird dives, it splashes. This thing sliced into the water without a ripple. It didn't float, it didn't sink, it simply transitioned mediums. It remained submerged for 17 minutes, then just as abruptly shot out of the water at a 45-degree angle, accelerating into the sky at speeds that defy our understanding of propulsion. No sonic boom, no water displacement, no heat exhaust, just a silent phantom leaving the stage. This was not a one-off event. Michael Ciapcia, a former United States Marine intelligence analyst, has come forward to state that these atmospheric biologicals, quote-unquote, are being seen everywhere. They have been spotted over Afghanistan. They have been seen near nuclear silos. They look organic, like deep-sea creatures swimming through the ocean of an air above our heads. The skeptics and the debunkers who are desperate to keep the world small and understandable screamed bird poop on the lens or smudge. But you do not track a smudge on a multi-million-dollar weapon system. You do not watch a smudge change temperature. You do not watch a smudge or piece of bird shit submerge into a lake and fly out at Mach speed. This footage forces us to confront a possibility that is far stranger than little green men in metal saucers. What if the sky is not empty? What if it is an ecosystem? And what if the things living in it are finally starting to look back at us? This raises disturbing questions about national security. If a jellyfish-like entity can drift over a secure base, invisible to the naked eye and only visible on thermal, what else is floating above our heads right now? Are we being watched by a biology that exists in a spectrum of light that we cannot see? What do you think there, Jacob?
I remember that. I remember seeing that, and that's exactly what I thought, was it was bird crap on the lens at first. And you know what it really looked to me like was it Battle LA, the movie?
Yes.
Where they had those like flying machines and stuff like that. It was like a weird alien thing. Maybe they kind of pulled from that. can't recall when that movie came out versus when the Jellyfish UAP was seen. But regardless, I'm starting to lean more towards that. It's just like in the realm of like the flying rods or the skyfish, that it's like they say the air acts like water. Like, what if we can't get out of the atmosphere? Like, NASA's completely full of crap. Just entertain it for a second. NASA's completely full of crap. We
Okay,
can't
Jeff.
actually, we can't actually get past the Van Allen radiation belt, something or another.
Yeah, look at you. Good boy.
Yeah,
Proud of you.
I listened to things, and we. Well, I heard Joe Rogan go on a spiel about this for like 2 hours straight.
Oh.
Yeah, but let's see. Where was I going with that? Anyway, so NASA's making it up. What if there is a layer of water or something that sits over the Earth that we can't penetrate, and there's an ecosystem full of what we would consider flying things, but they're actually swimming? Or that there are other types of flying creatures, I guess, that go through the air but never touch ground, like the rods.
Yeah.
And they're just so uncommon and so elusive that there's really no way to actually study them until one of them like flies through a camera somewhere.
And that's kind of the picture I was painting here too, right? I want to take a second to kind of educate people on a brilliant book that was written a long time ago by a brilliant biologist turned cryptozoologist named Ivan T. Sanderson. Now, it's called Uninvited Visitors, and this book was written in 1967, and the whole concept of this book is a biologist looking at UFOs and what's modernly referred to as sky beasts, which is the concept that you're basically talking about, rods, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's even a big argument by a lot of people that the standard flying saucer or light in the sky could be one of these biological entities. And we saw Hollywood kind of take that in stride with the movie that got released a few years ago by Jordan Peele, Nope.
Yeah.
And which I love that movie.
Gosh,
Like
that movie's so scary.
I love that movie. That movie is great. Yes, I've seen a movie, and I love that he made it a biological entity.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if I spoiled that for anybody, but if you're a fan of UFOs and you like the idea that UFOs can be biological in any way, shape, or form, go check out Nope. Great movie. Literally, I don't watch movies. In case you're new to the Infinite Rival, I just don't. But I saw that one, and I've seen it like 4 times now, because it's that good. I really do enjoy it. So I do have a discussion point to talk about. Basically, this takes the form of the questions that we were doing last time, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
So the Jellyfish video seems to bridge the gap between the nuts and bolts craft and something more paranormal or interdimensional. It looks organic, yet it moves with robotic precision. Do you think we are dealing with a biological entity native to our atmosphere? Basically a cryptid of the sky? Or is this advanced surveillance technology disguised as organic matter? And secondly, why does the temperature fluctuation matter so much in these sightings?
The world moves fast. Your workday? Even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
AI is incredible. They can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts, it knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief, and it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI, it's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
Well, geez, it could be both. I mean, the sky's the limit as far as possibilities is for what can exist on this planet because we have plenty of very strange animals that shouldn't be, and yet they are, right?
Mhm.
Or they have unique characteristics. Like our hangar bay at work here in the summer months gets just inundated with bats. You know, they land all over the ground and all that sort of stuff. Well, it's not that bad, but they'll land every once in a while. And I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this bat, and I like I wanted to pick it up, but it was pretty feisty and like move it because it was literally just it was between the slab of the concrete outside and the metal wall of the hangar bay, and it was just stuck in this little crack, and I kinda wanted to get up in there and, like, pull it out and move it because it's like, "This thing's gonna die right here," right? And I could hear it clicking at me. It's like and I was like, "What is this crackling click sound?" And then I Googled it, and I was like, "Oh, that's the echolocation." It sounds so weird, right? And it's very strange that they would have this, you know, I don't know what you want to call it, evolutionary sort of adaptation or whatever it is, but, or, you know, on my side that God made them that way. But regardless, it's so strange that they fly around and they just pop and it just echoes off of everything, right? And so, I mean, if you can have something that's as common as a bat that has such a very strange way of navigation, why couldn't you then take other things like flying rods or was it skyfish, um,
Mhm.
and just give them a unique characteristic like they don't land or, you know, or we haven't ever observed them land or, you know, why couldn't there be a type of animal that can change the heat that it's giving off? And then on the other side, sure, maybe it's an advanced biomechanical form of surveillance. Because again, sky's the limit. Who knows what's being developed right now, right?
Mhm.
And that I think it's kind of crappy to kind of be in that realm of like, who knows, you know? Oh well, but it's like because I would want to know one way or the other because it's interesting, right? And then
Mhm.
if it's the latter, where it's a piece of tech, then we're likely never gonna get the answers for that. If it was the former of a creature, well, there's been one recorded, so that we know of. So, still probably not gonna get the answers to that too.
Well,
I'm curious if the heat signature changes and fluctuations has to do with active cloaking.
that's I went more here. I'll read off what I my thoughts on this is. This is the part I actually had to write up today. This is where the rubber meets the road, folks. We have to stop thinking about this in terms of Star Wars technology. Battleships with rivets and thrusters. The Jellyfish UAP pushes us toward the interdimensional hypothesis. If you look at the work of researchers like Jacques Vallée, he has argued for decades that these phenomena are not travelers from another planet, but entities that coexist with us in a reality that overlays our own. The temperature fluctuation is the smoking gun for this theory. When an object moves between dimensions, or density layers, it requires a massive exchange of energy. In physics, we know that energy exchange often manifests as heat transfer. The fact that this entity is shifting from hot to cold suggests it is not just cloaking itself from a camera, it is phase shifting its vibrational frequency. It is literally tuning itself out of our reality and into another. It appears cold because it is absorbing heat from our environment to power this transition, or hot as it bleeds energy back into our space. It is not a machine malfunctioning, it is a door opening and closing. Furthermore, the biological appearance supports the idea of non-human intelligence that isn't necessarily technological in the way we understand it. We assume aliens build ships because we build ships, but what if a civilization or a life form evolved a billion years ahead of us? They wouldn't build a Volvo to drive to Earth. They would engineer biological avatars or project their consciousness into a semi-physical form. This jellyfish might be a drone, yes, but a drone made of engineered biological matter, meat, and energy, designed to interact with our atmosphere without leaving a carbon footprint or a crash retrieval site. It is the ultimate stealth because it looks like nature, even if it is a nature we do not recognize. So I went the interdimensional route, or the possible avatar being used by an alien technology, whether it be from far away off in space, which I feel like is the more unlikely of the two options, or an interdimensional intelligence, something that we've talked about heavily recently in the show over the last couple episodes. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think that a cyborg, I guess, would be out of the realm of possibilities of something that could be used experimentally to actively surveil stuff or as a weapon. I'm trying to rack my brain as far as like what I've heard of in the past. And the only thing that can come to mind is well, obviously that birds are government drones. But I mean everyone knows that. Not the country birds, the city birds, right? But aside from that, I mean there's some weird stuff going on in the world, like making meat out of basically 3D printing meat. If that's going on, I don't know if it would be too crazy for the idea that scientists are experimenting with taking actual animals or bits and pieces of animals and connecting them with, some sort of a robotic nature in order to make a better, more effective weapon system or surveillance technology. Although I do agree with you. Obviously, we've talked about it ad nauseum about, you know, when I say angels, demons, things like that, you could definitely say on a different plane of existence that parallels ours. That's just not visible to us, unless the veil is opened or whatever that looks like, right? Under unique circumstances or, I don't know, a gateway. So, I don't know.
Well,
I
I
guess
just want to give a shit.
I guess that if I were to put myself in a boat and say which one would be more worrisome, it would be the interdimensional beings coming through versus something you could, shoot down with a missile,
Yeah, it's I feel like that's, in my opinion, right? I've gone on record multiple times talking about how I feel like the interdimensional aspect of things would probably be the more likely. Sorry, I'm kind of sidetracked here. I'm making edits to my next script here as as I'm talking. But let's go ahead and put this topic to bed. I just want to give one more shout out to the book Uninvited Visitors by Ivan T. Sanderson. It's very difficult to find now, but if you can, I highly recommend it. Ivan T. Sanderson, like I said, was a biologist turned cryptozoologist that looked at UFOs as if they were biological beings. Highly recommend it. And then I want to give a shout out to, I can't see the full name, but I can see Jimmy. Jimmy on YouTube said, "You guys don't get anywhere near the subs or views that the quality of your research and content deserves, guys. Keep on trucking." Hey, I appreciate that, Jimmy. Really
Yeah,
do.
appreciate that too.
That's super. Trust me, the amount of money, time, and divorce threats I've had from my wife over over all this. It means a lot to hear that. I appreciate it. Jake,
Oh,
ready to hear about the face peelers?
I found that book Yeah, right. I found that book on Amazon. You can actually buy it either paperback or hardcover. Hardcover's $39.94.
You found
Or
Uninvited Visitors?
yeah, so I'm gonna
Oh.
buy it because it sounds interesting to me. Sounds pretty much right up my alley. This not a sponsor, but this 1919 freaking root beer is amazing.
Oh, it is. It is. It's delicious.
Apparently, they sell kegs of it too.
They do. The little mini kegs. They're cool.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. For our second topic, we're leaving the arid deserts of the Middle East and hacking our way through the dense, humid jungle of the Peruvian Amazon. In the summer of 2023, something landed in the Laredo region, terrorizing the Iquitu indigenous people in the remote village of San Antonio de, I'm going to butcher this, Pintuyacu. This story sounds like it was ripped from a 1950s pulp sci-fi novel, but the fear in the voices of the witnesses were very, very real. It started in late July of 2023. Villagers began reporting strange, yellow-eyed figures lurking in the dark canopy. These were not jaguars. These were not rival tribes. Okay, it's going to be full of things I'm going to butcher. Hiro Reati Divala. Hero Rayati Divala, the community leader of the Iquitu people, went on record with frantic pleas to the Peruvian military. He described entities that stood 7 feet tall. They had large, bulbous heads, which the locals described as long heads, and wore what looked like silver armored suits. But the most terrifying detail, they hovered. Davila claimed their shoes are round-shaped, which they use to float. He described them hovering about 1 meter off the ground, moving with a silence that unnerved the hunters who know every sound of the rainforest. The attacks were brutal and direct. On the night of July 11th, a 15-year-old girl was reportedly grabbed from behind by one of these figures. The entity slashed her neck, leaving deep cuts, presumably attempting to drag her away. Villagers rushed to her aid, screaming and firing weapons. The attacker did not run. It ascended vertically and vanished into the canopy. The girl survived, but the trauma sent shockwaves through the community. The Iquitu people are not easily scared. They are skilled hunters. They know the jungle better than anyone on Earth. Davila stated clearly, quote, "I shot one of them twice and he didn't fall. He rose up and disappeared. We are frightened." The shotgun pellets reportedly struck the silver armor with a metallic clang, but did absolutely no damage to the entity inside. The panic was absolute. The villagers called them Los Pelacaras, the face peelers, referring to an old Andean legend of white men who wander the remote regions to steal the faces and fat of the indigenous people. They demanded help. The Peruvian Navy and National Police were deployed to the region, but their official explanation only deepened the mystery and insulted the intelligence of everyone paying attention. The official government statement, they claimed that these were not aliens. They claimed that these were illegal gold miners from criminal syndicates, specifically pointing fingers at the groups like Primeiro Comando de Capital from Brazil. The government claimed these miners were using jetpacks to fly through the jungle and scare the locals away from rich gold deposits. Let us pause and think about that for a second. Jetpacks. A commercial jetpack, like the ones made by Gravity Industries, costs roughly $400,000. It sounds like a jetpack engine screaming at 100 or a jet engine screaming at 130 decibels louder than a rock concert. It has a flight time of maybe 5 to 10 minutes before it runs out of fuel. It is incredibly difficult to fly, requiring months of training. Yet the Peruvian government wants us to believe that the illegal miners were flying these multi-million-dollar, deafening loud machines through the dense, tangled Amazon canopy at night, that they were hovering silently. Remember, the villagers said they were silent and taking shotgun blasts to the chest without flinching. The logistics are impossible. You cannot sneak up on someone wearing a jetpack. It screams. You cannot fly a jetpack through the trees at night without killing yourself. The explanation was a desperate attempt to put a lid on high strangeness events. The villagers know what a drone sounds like. They know what a miner looks like. They insisted these beings had long heads and eyes that glowed red or yellow. This was not a mining operation. This was a siege. Whether it was a test of advanced military exoskeleton technology, perhaps a black budget gravity displacement suit, or a genuine visitation of non-human intelligence, the events in Laredo remain one of the most disturbing close encounter cases of the modern era. It represents a direct conflict between humans and a superior technology in one of the most remote places on Earth. So let me just get to the discussion point here, Jake, before I release you on it, man. The quote-unquote illegal miners with jetpacks explanation feels like the swamp gas of the 21st. It does not hold up to scrutiny regarding the noise and fuel limitations of current jetpack tech. Do you think this was a psychological operation, a psyop, if you will, to clear the land for resources, utilizing holographic technology like maybe Project Bluebeam? Or did the Ikidu actually encounter a species of non-human intelligence?
On December 12th, Disney Plus invites you to go behind the scenes with Taylor Swift in an exclusive 6-episode docuseries.
I wanted to give something to the fans that they didn't expect. The only thing left is to close the book.
The end of an era. And don't miss Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, the final show, featuring for the first time the Tortured Poets Department. Streaming December 12th, only on Disney Plus.
Did we not do an episode on this? This sounds
No.
very familiar.
No, I don't know where you would have gotten something like that from.
Like the talking points too, of
I
like
mean, we talk about holographic technology and Project Bluebeam a lot. I would say if I was to choose something that came even close to this and the topic that we did, it would be the Kelly Greenman. But
no, we
I don't.
definitely talked about this at one point, or it came up in conversation.
It definitely could have come up in conversation because when it hit the news, I got really excited about it, and that's when I wrote this up. Like almost 2 full years ago, I had this script written, and we just never covered it because I didn't have enough to do a full episode on. Right? I was waiting to try to come up with maybe other like stories that are similar to this that I can bundle it with. I mean, it's an interesting story, and
No, for sure.
I don't doubt for a second that I did end up bringing it up at some point, but I doubt I even went into any detail in it.
I'm definitely buying one of these jetpacks. I pulled up that company, Gravity
Did you?
Industries. Oh, dude, yeah. It's funny. I've seen. I saw a guy, some service member. I don't know what he was, but in the United States military, but boarding a ship from another ship using one of these, and they were testing out to see if
It was the
know-
British Navy.
was it the British? Oh,
Yep.
so it wasn't the United States, but
No.
it's trying to see like if they could use this for shipboard pirate fighting. I think it was something like that. But yeah, it was pretty dope. I remember seeing
you
that a while ago.
If you got the website up, bring it up, man. Let everybody see it.
Okay, well, I'll pull it up on the computer.
Yeah, man.
While I'm
Here, you want me to get into my thoughts while you're bringing it up?
yeah, you do thing.
The miner theory is insulting. It is gaslighting, plain and simple. If you have ever heard a jet turbine, you know you don't sneak up on anyone while you're wearing it. The key detail here is silence. Silence implies anti-gravity or some form of field propulsion we do not supposedly have. I think we're looking at a classic high strangeness flap, similar to the Colores flap in Brazil in the 1970s, where UFOs fired beams at people, but there is a darker angle here. Look at the location. The Amazon is a resource haven, but it is also a blind spot. If a global power, say the US, China, or breakaway civilization, wanted to test a new tactical armor or a gravity displacement suit, who better to test it on than an isolated tribe with no cameras and no internet? However, the Longhead's description pushes me back to the alien side. It sounds exactly like the mantid beings reported in abduction lore. Maybe they were miners, just not from Brazil. Maybe they were mining genetic material. The face peeler legend is about harvesting humans. If these entities were impervious to bullets and could fly, they weren't worried about gold. They were there for something else. And the fact that the military shut down the story so fast tells me they know exactly what it was in those woods.
Bro, you can get training on these things for only $8,500. I am 100%
That's
doing
it?
Yes, look at this.
You gonna fly to my house?
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna fly to your house and you're gonna be like, "Ooh, can I try?" I'm gonna be like, "Nope," and I'm gonna fly away.
I would not get on that, dude. I don't even like roller coasters.
Oh man, what if it like blows up, takes your arms off at the shoulder?
Oh, that's
Yeah, I'm
messed up.
totally gonna buy myself one of these things. That's pretty dope.
How much are they going for now? Because I wrote this, like I said, I wrote this up 2 years ago. Does it say?
I'm not seeing a price. You can test fly one for under $2,000 though.
Huh.
That's
Nice.
pretty cool. Well then. I was going to work on my beater of a car that I have and spend a bunch of money on that, but instead I'm gonna test fly a jetpack. So that's cool.
Let me just strap some turbine engines onto my wrists.
Dude, it's go from airplane mechanics, the next logical step is either a pilot or a jetpack pilot. I
Yeah,
mean,
duh.
it's
It's
ever
nature.
since I got to witness jets going into full AB, I've always dreamt of having those things strapped to my arms, you know?
So my answer there, I think maybe that's what you're thinking about, because we have talked about the island of Colores in Brazil quite a bit. Not necessarily, Colores wasn't riddled with beings, right? Entities really didn't play a big picture, although there were some reports of entities. It was mostly lights. Like in Colores, we were seeing, or they saw a lot of red, yellow lights, and then they did this strange phenomenon where when they got close to somebody, they turned blue all of a sudden and they caused radiation damage to them. Yeah, a lot of people, there were some people that lost their lives in Colores too. Jacques Vallée actually wrote, I don't know if he's the one that wrote there's one book that was written on this, on Colores, and it's called UFO Danger or something. I don't think it was written by Jacques Vallée, but Jacques Vallée talks about it a lot in a lot of his other books. I think it's in Passport to Magnolia is the book that he talks about it. Jake, talk a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's 100% gaslighting to see people with jetpacks and stuff. It definitely sounds like there's some kind of a psyop going on or an attempt to rid these or push these people away from where they live for some reason, probably for a resource grab or whatever it is. I am far from believing it was an interdimensional being or some sort of an alien attack or something like that, and way more into that governments suck and will do terrible things to their people just because they can.
So here's the book. It's called UFO Danger Zone. It has a foreword written by Dr. Jacques Vallée. And as you can see, that is currently going for $72.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't have this book yet. That's why I've never really that's why I never really officially covered the Colores incident. I will buy this book eventually. In fact, I might just snag it tonight because I would like to cover it at some point. But I have referenced Colores quite a bit in a lot of past stories, especially like when we talk about Elmwood, right, with the blue light with Officer George Wheeler when he passed away because of his contact with that blue light on top of the quarry, right? One of the things that came to my mind immediately when I first read that was the island of Colores. So I probably talked about it during that episode. Then
Or you save up 27 more of those $72 and you fly a jetpack.
No.
I like what
This
Spectrum
is-
said. He said, "I'm sorry, but one jetpack is wild. A gang of jetpacks is sci-fi. We should all get together and fly jetpacks into Papua New Guinea and meet some untouched tribes and get worshipped like gods."
We should get them and then go to UFO days and show up at that Skywatch at the end of the
Oh
Saturday.
my gosh, while everyone's drunk and high, just blitzed out of their minds, and we just fly over the town and they lose it. Yeah.
So this book by Jacques Vallée, I have it back here. It's called Passport to Magonia.
Is that Shrek?
No. It's got another eye. It looks like Shrek, but it's got an eye on his forehead. It does kind of look like Shrek. But Jacques Vallée, I know I'm pushing a lot of books right now, but this guy is amazing. The Invisible College is literally one of the best books I've ever read. Messengers of Deception is a great book. Dimensions, I don't have this book yet, but it's also phenomenal. I've read it. I have the digital version. Confrontations, I also have the digital version of. Just if you're getting into UFOs, ufology, whatever, you need to read the works by Jacques Vallée.
Oh, he writes. He wrote the Edge of Reality.
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
I've never read it. I just saw it on the thing.
So let's say that's not even like a popular book. Like, where the hell? How'd you know that?
It's not on the list. It's like only 10 people have ever read that book.
Like that. It's kind of weird. That's the weird one to call out for that. But anyways, you ready for the third topic? Do you have anything else that you want to talk about face peeler wise?
I mean, the story is crazy, but yeah, I think it was their government just being crappy and then trying to gaslight everyone and be like, no, we would never attack people for no reason to steal their resources that are under their feet. What? That's crazy. It was the jetpack people. Come on.
It was the
Yeah.
damn Brazilians.
Yeah, it's completely. There's no way.
Yeah, we get reports of them coming over the border all the time.
Yeah.
Just flying right over us.
The jetpack people.
We try throwing our rocks at them, but
yeah,
that's fucked up. I can't say that. All right. All right, you ready for the third topic, man?
Yes, sir.
All right. And for our third and final topic for tonight, we are calling the dead internet and the AI necromancy. This is obviously a topic that we have talked about before. We talked about this with Jeff, but I never went over my script with it. We just kind of talked about it free-flowing, never really dove into the actual details of the dead internet theory. Well, this is what I had. This is not about monsters in the woods or in the sky. This is about the monster in your pocket. It is about the screen you are staring at right now. Have you noticed it? The feeling that the internet has become empty. You scroll through Twitter, now X, or Facebook, and the comments feel repetitive. The syntax is slightly off. The memes are bizarre, surreal amalgams of shrimp Jesus or melting faces that thousands of people are liking and sharing. You post a thought and the engagement you get feels hollow, like an echo returning from a canyon that goes on forever. This is the dead internet theory. The theory that posits that sometime around 2016 or 2017, the human internet died. The organic chaos of real people arguing, creating, and connecting was replaced by a sterile, algorithmic loop of bots talking to bots. According to recent cybersecurity reports from 2025, over 47 to 50% of all web traffic is now non-human. But it goes deeper than just traffic. It is about content creation. With the explosion of large language models, or LLMs, and generative AI, we are seeing the rise of the zombie web. AI agents are now generating articles, writing code, creating videos, and obviously scripts for Infinite Rabbit Hole. That's a joke. That didn't actually happen. And then other AI agents are reading, watching, and commenting on them. It is closed loop. It is a closed loop of artificial hallucination. Humans are just the specters, or spectators, wandering through a digital ghost town that looks bustling, but is actually completely devoid of life. Consider the inversion of reality. You go to a recipe blog and the recipe was written by an AI. The photo was generated by Midjourney, and the comments praising it are bots farming for clicks. You're the only real soul in the interaction. But the rabbit hole goes darker. We are now seeing the rise of AI necromancy. companies are offering services to upload your deceased loved ones. They scrape their text messages, voicemails, social media data to create an AI avatar that thinks and speaks like them. You can chat with your dead father. You can FaceTime your deceased wife. You are building a digital afterlife, but it is a hell of your own making. These AI ghosts aren't your loved ones. They aren't statistical probabilities wearing the skin of the dead. As the internet fills with these digital revenants and bot armies, we have to ask, if you can't tell the difference between a human soul and a predictive text algorithm, does the human soul even matter online anymore? We are drowning in a sea of synthetic data. If an AI writes a fake news story and another AI cites it as a source to write a Wikipedia article, and a third AI uses that Wikipedia article to train its knowledge base, we have effectively washed truth out of the system. We are creating a history that never happened, written by machines that do not understand what history is. So, the discussion point for tonight. The dead internet theory used to be a fringe conspiracy, but with the stats showing bot traffic overtaking human traffic, it feels like a reality we are already living in. My question is philosophical. If the majority of our culture, news, and interaction is generated by AI, are we experiencing a form of mass psychosis? Are we being programmed by a machine consensus that has no concept of truth, only engagement? What do you think, bud?
They always tell you there's a catch, a compromise, an asterisk. Terms apply. See store for details. May be less than advertised. May vary by mood. Probably. Sprite Zero Sugar? It's different. It's the lemon lime flavored refreshment you want with zero sugar. So, no fast voice? No caveats. Just refreshment. This is Sprite Zero Sugar. Obey your thirst.
This episode is brought to you by Stouffer's. Here comes three-time juggling champion Natalia Rogers. She's juggling law school, her TA job. Oh, narrowly catches the laundry. What's that fourth ball? Parents unexpectedly showed up at dinner time? Is that too much for Natalia? Not with Stouffer's Chicken Alfredo and its mouth-watering mix of Asiago, Romano, and Parmesan. When you're juggling four things at once and the clock strikes dinner, think Stouffer's.
Yeah, that's gross, man. I don't like that.
Well, I wrote this. This is by far the newest script that I wrote. I wrote this around the same time that we had that guy on that had that AI. That's what that whole section was about, really.
Mm-hmm.
It was about that guy's website. I can't remember what it was, but we had him on and we were talking about how he created an AI that he was selling as you actually talking to a deceased loved one.
Yeah, that was really unsettling.
Yeah, that was a... I think it's an interesting episode. Trying not to say terrible things about him. There's really not much to say terribly about him. I feel like people get confused too much when it comes to AI and
Reflecta.
That's exactly Reflecta.ai. He was a great guy. Actually, that guy wasn't, right? That guy was kind of a dick, wasn't he?
A little bit.
That was the guy that was a dick, wasn't it?
Well, he's kind of condescending, which was interesting.
Yeah, we learned that like in the green room before the episode. He was kind of, I don't know, it was odd. Typically we have people come on and they're all laughing and joking, having a good time, and this guy was like, anyways, either way,
Are we
he's
gonna
still
get sued for defamation?
No, I'll delete that.
But the company was strange and unsettling. I didn't like the concept of programming the AI with your relative's voice and their thoughts and things like that, and then pretending that it's the person you're talking to, like you're FaceTiming them. It was really, really weird. Like, for all of human civilization, people die, and then you got to process that. And then recently, within the last 150 years or so, people die and you have photographs of them to kind of jar your memory of, this was grandpa, this was dad, this was, mom, whoever, right? This was my brother. Very recently, you can do things like saving voicemails and things like that. I have voicemails of my grandpa who died, 8 years ago, and I listen to him every so often. It's good to hear his voice and stuff like that. But that's where I would cut it off. I would never go into a realm where so recent now, well, today, you can then talk to the person. That's gross, right? And I would be curious as to what the mental health repercussions of that are, because then you would never be able to process loss like everyone else, and and it would probably degrade your ability to cope and reason after a certain amount of time. But regardless, away from that, the fact that AI is so prevalent and bots are so prevalent, and like you were just reading, and I'm sure you pulled that statistic from somewhere, it wasn't out of your butt, but that like 50% of web traffic is just bots chatting back and forth or putting stuff out there. And then, it's like when I'm shopping on Amazon, there's a certain amount of like how many of these reviews are actually real versus AI generated slop to try to push this product that's going to break in 2 days, right? So
Right.
it's like, so I'll do things like look for YouTube videos of people utilizing the products, or my 30-day review driving this car, or motorcycle reviews, things like that, versus just what I see online, because who's to say if any of that's real. And then we're soon going to come to a point where YouTube videos aren't going to be reliable anymore because Facebook is being inundated with AI crap, where half the videos, half the reels you see, I'm sure TikTok as well, and Snapchat, it's all AI crap, right? And then you see people in the comments that are totally buying it. And it's just like, eventually we're going to get to this point where truth will still exist, but it'll be so difficult to find it. What's the truth? What did this guy actually say? What is it actually going to rain today, or is it going to be a good day for fishing?
Yeah.
Truth will still be there, but it will be so difficult to find because of the amount of bot traffic and AI traffic and just, those shenanigans. I fear for the time when someone could hold a grudge against me or you for whatever reason, and then make an AI video that shows us vandalizing someone's vehicle in the town that we live. And there's going to be no way to say we didn't do that because it looks so real that people start getting in trouble for things like that, or worse things, right?
We're already there.
Here's this video of Jeremy throwing kittens into the river.
Right?
Well, it's the Red Cedar River. He lives right next to it. Where were you this weekend?
I was right next to the Red Cedar River.
God forbid you left your house at any point, or your wife was gone, working at the vet or whatever it was, or God forbid you actually took your kids to the Red Cedar River to go mess around. It's just, it's going to be to this point where the truth will exist, but it's going to be so difficult to know what it is. And people are so, geez, we see it today with all the stuff going on in Minneapolis. Just one side versus the other side. Oh, this person just got randomly attacked by the police. Oh, no, they didn't. Turns out there's, several minutes of beforehand footage of them being an agitator and doing all this sort of stuff. But what comes out first? The story. And then days later, the truth comes out. But by that time, you already have 100,000 people that believe the lie, right? Of whatever it might be. And so it's already there. It just needs a little bit more of a push, and then we're over the ledge and there's no turning back,
Yeah. So I quickly just Googled, just threw in a Google search bar, what % of web traffic are just bots? And the AI overview hits you directly with approximately 49.6 to 51% of all web traffic is generated by bots. And then if you scroll down, you have websites such as Forbes and The Independent that like Forbes has their article from 2024. Yes, bots are really taking over the internet. Bots now account for nearly half of all internet traffic globally, with so-called bad bots responsible for a third. I mean, this is real stuff. Like the dead internet theory used to be a conspiracy theory. It was something that was originally thought up and shared on Reddit, right? And people just kind of went with that because Reddit is known to have bots, and turns out it's extremely true. I mean, most of the internet traffic in most, especially when you talk about the big websites, the big interactive websites, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, right? All these very big social interactive websites, they all are just flooded with bots. And it makes me wonder how many times I've really gotten in an argument with bots. I probably yell.
Yeah.
I probably argue with them all the time because they're probably like, "This is AI," and I'm like, you know what, fucker?
20,000 bots on a server that are just flooding the internet with just the craziest comments on videos and stuff, just to piss people off. For no reason other than just to watch it all burn.
Well, here, let me get into my deep dive, and then I want to bring it back just a hair. So this is the ultimate existential crisis for our generation. We are staring down the barrel of a simulation within the simulation. If the internet is our primary lens for viewing the world, and let's be honest, for most people it is, then our view of reality is being fabricated in real time by non-human intelligence. It's not the Matrix. Where we are in pods, it is a psychological matrix where our opinions, our anger, and our joy are being triggered by algorithms designed to maximize retention, not truth. The danger here is the feedback loop of insanity. We are feeding egregores. It's in occultism, and egregore is a thought form that gains power the more people believe in it. The algorithm is a digital egregore. It feeds on our anger and our fear. It does not care if the content is true. It only cares if it provokes a reaction. And regarding the necromancy aspect, this is dangerous spiritual territory. By creating these digital echoes of the dead, we are refusing to let go. We are trapping ourselves in a state of permanent artificial grief. We are populating the dead internet with literal ghosts. It is the ultimate act of narcissism. We would rather talk to a convincing lie than face the silence of the void. The internet is not just dead. It is undead, and we are the ones feeding it. Now, I do want to just say that I feel that something like that Reflecta AI could be a tool. It could be a tool used in mental health therapy. Like, I mean, I understand everyone needs to break away. We've all lost people in our lives, right? But I'm also a heavy mental health advocate. Okay, someone who does suffer from many different aspects of mental health struggles. Myself, stemming from my time in the service and other aspects of my life, I could see applications where this would be helpful. I do not think that we should be playing with fire and opening this up to the public. It does need to come with disclaimers that say, hey, just so you know, this is not your loved one. This is an AI. And that's kind of where I have the issue with the guy from Reflecta, right? He is selling this as it is. You know, like he came on and talked about his father, about how he built the AI of his father and how he talks to his father every day. He's selling this as if he is talking to his father. And I truly believe he believes he's talking to his father. And there's a part of that that's kind of sad. You know, I don't on the guy. I think that, you know, he's got a lot of emotional grief, and I think this helps him, and that's a good thing, right? In my opinion. But I feel like we have to be careful with that. That's not something that we should just be advertising, because there's a lot of people out there that will take that hook, line, and sinker for the words that you're calling it. And it's not. It's an AI. It's as simple as that. Jake, you got anything?
No, I agree. I disagree with that it could assist with mental health, but that's probably just my own ewees about it.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people are going to have their reservations against it. And I'm not one saying that it would be good for me. I'm not saying that it would be good for every single mental health category that's out there or every single person that struggles with a mental health issue. But I do believe that there would be the rare case where it could be helpful.
Dude,
as long as
how crazy would it be if they started pushing ads like that? You get 10 minutes talking to your dad, and then he starts pushing ads for the flu shot at Target or Walgreens or something like that.
You joke, but that's legitimately probably right around the corner. I hate that. I hate it because of how
by the way,
true it probably is.
did you get your flu shot? Because over at Walgreens, they're handing out free flu shots as long as you use your HSA.
That's so messed up.
It's like, no, Dad, I think I don't think I'm going to get the flu vaccine this year. It's like, oh, did you hear that they're having a sale, 2 for 1 on Monster Energy drinks? Yeah, you should go check that out. I know how much you like Monster Energy drinks.
That's messed up.
Dad, I think you're right. I do like Monster Energy drinks.
All right. So I got my outro here. You got anything else to say?
No, good episode, dude.
Thanks, man. All right, Spectrum. Spectrum said the only way for something like that to work is a one-time voice recreation for people who had traumatic events where they need a verbal release for whatever argument or unresolved issue around the time of death. See, I think that is and I don't even think that necessarily slims it down far enough to where it would be an acceptable thing, but I think that's very much right down the path where it could be helpful to somebody. I personally know one person who I'm not going to put their name out there, and I'm going to be very vague on their story because I know that person does listen to the show, but they had an argument with somebody close to them. That person left for work and passed away in a car accident on the way to work. So the last thing that they said was something hurtful to that person. And that's where I'm thinking when it comes to Reflecta or the AIs using the likeness of somebody who had passed away as possibly a good thing, Yeah, you're still talking to an AI, but just being able to say the words and get the verbal reaction may help somebody. And that's one path where I think it may be helpful in certain situations. Again, I'm not trying to blanket that at all. I think it's a very specific thing. It's a case-by-case thing. And even on a case-by-case basis, it's very slim chances that somebody's going to have the perfect scenario for utilizing that tool. I think it needs to be heavily restricted, to be honest with you. But,
yeah.
All right, outro time.
Okay.
We have traveled a long and treacherous path tonight, travelers. We started with the Jellyfish UAP, a silent sentinel drifting through our atmosphere, shifting between hot and cold, perhaps shifting between worlds. It watches us with an indifference that is more terrifying than aggression, reminding us that our airspace and our dimension might not be as secure as we think. It is a biological drone in a sky we thought we owned. We hacked our way into the Amazon to face the peelers, armored entities that withstood shotgun blasts and hovered with impossible silence. Whether they were black budget soldiers testing the next generation of warfare or visitors from the stars strip mining our planet, the message was clear. There are places on this map where human authority means nothing, and where the legends of the past are coming back to haunt us in the present. And finally, we stared into the black mirror of the dead internet. We stripped away the illusion of connection to reveal a machinery of bots and AI ghosts, churning out a reality that is becoming less human by the second. We are walking through a digital graveyard, talking to machines that are pretending to be us. What ties these threads together? That would be the illusion of control. The military thinks it controls the airspace, but the jellyfish proves them wrong. The Peruvian government thinks it controls its territory, but the face peelers prove them wrong. We think we control the internet, but the bots prove us wrong. We are living in a world where the most dangerous things are the ones pretending to be something else, or pretending to be nothing at all. The rabbit hole does not just go down, it goes invisible. It hides in plain sight. Thank you for trusting us with our reality tonight. If you enjoyed this dive, please leave a review, tell a friend, and do not forget to check out our Patreon for that exclusive breakdown of the Havana Syndrome. Until next time, travelers, we'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. It's been a blast, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. If you're looking for more of our stuff, head on over to infiniterabbithole.com, where you can find links to all the podcast players that we are available on, and even our video platforms such as TikTok and YouTube. While you're there, make sure to check out all the links for our socials and hit that follow so you know when all the new stuff from our podcast comes out. And until next time, travelers, we'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Bye.